started.
We got to start the broadcast.
Started. All right. We'll go ahead and get started as well. Thanks everybody for joining. Sorry, for some reason I got muted and my video turned off. I don't think I pushed anything.
We had to start the broadcast. Be good
Oh,
now.
I'm sorry. All right. Okay. First order of business, minutes from the last meeting. If there are any corrections or additions, we'll take those. Otherwise, we'll take a motion to approve.
Motion to approve. Sorry, I had to find the mute button.
Is there a second?
A second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Yes.
The ayes have it. Yes. Minutes are approved. Second order of business, CPS updates from Brittany.
It'll help if I can unmute. There we go. Good afternoon, everyone. We're going to kick off our CPS updates with one of my favorite times of the year, and I'm sure many others' favorite time, and that is graduation time. So we were able to have in-person graduations this year across our district, and we are happy to celebrate the over 1,900 CPS graduates who were able to cross the stage, triumph over many different obstacles and barriers, and really celebrate their accomplishments alongside their fellow peers, their teachers, administrators, as well as their families. So we salute our class of 2021 graduates. Really excited on their accomplishments. Their scholarships actually is over $25 million, and it's more so close to 40 or 50 at this point. So we really value our graduates and wish them the best on their 3E journey. This year, we were able to celebrate our graduates also in a different capacity by really highlighting the work of My Tomorrow. For those who are not aware, or just to jog your memory, My Tomorrow was the district's initiative to celebrate and really prepare students for life after graduation. This was an initiative started by our previous superintendent, Mrs. Laura Mitchell, and the goal was to really prepare students for that next stage of life. So in this particular showcase, we were able to really highlight the different elements within our district where we prepare students for that particular pursuit. So we had an opportunity to celebrate students who were a part of the career tech programs, our career-based learning programs, our college programs, as well as some of our subsidiary departments, including adult education with Aspire, as well as our community learning center and Project Connect and athletics. So it was a wonderful experience. If you missed it, you can still view it on our YouTube page as well as our Facebook page. And we were able to highlight each individual student, give them a wonderful gift, and really have a video montage of their accomplishments. So if you have some spare time, please take a moment to view that. It really highlights the work that we do across the district. Currently, we are in the midst of Summer Scholars. Summer Scholars is taking place across our district, and students have an opportunity to actually participate in both academic as well as enrichment during the course of this particular month. And our students are actively participating. Our schools are still open and engaged, and our partners are really stepping up, including many of which that are on this call. So thank you for providing opportunities for our students, as well as an opportunity for them to get ahead, catch up, enjoy one another's company in a different capacity, and really have some fun. So Summer Scholars is doing well. Fast Fast forwarding a little bit to next school year, one of the things that I wanted to make sure that you all are aware of is some of our school times are changing. And this is with the Healthy Start initiative, where we're really focusing in on improving the time in which our students enter into the building, and really aligning that with the research that shows that academic gains really are contingent upon this start time. So many of our schools are actually starting from 10 minutes to 45 minutes later, according to when they started last school year. So there are 9 schools who will be impacted due to this, and those changes will also have a little bit of bearing on our career-based learning events, but we will navigate that and have been planning strategies around that. So as you see, schools can start as early as 8 a.m. and also end as late as 4:15. So that is a shift for a good chunk of our high schools. Last but not least, we did have a CPS leadership change. Our superintendent, Mrs. Laura Mitchell, announced her resignation, as well as the board made a decision to appoint our deputy superintendent to be our interim superintendent, Ms. Tiane Amat. We greatly appreciate all of the contributions that Ms. Mitchell was able to give to our district over the many years that she occupied multiple seats. And we're excited to welcome Ms. Amat in this capacity and continue the work that we've been doing since. So we are really excited about the future, and we will continue to do great work. Because this was a board decision, I'm going to ask Ms. Jones if she has any additional comments that she would like to share with the committee. I'm not sure if she can unmute, but we will circle back if she does. Ms. Jones, please let us know if you have any additional comments. And Alan, that's it for our updates for the district. And if you don't mind, I'll move forward with the career-based learning update.
Sure.
So this actually is a combination, not just career-based learning, but with career tech. Our partners on the board, Allied Construction Industries, has been hitting the news, and they are celebrating the partnership with one of our high schools in this unique partnership to be able to expose students at Woodward Career Tech, careers in construction, and also able to really help one of our city's main issues with affordable housing. So I'm going to invite Anthony Rishardi from Allied Construction and Jordan, if he is on the call, to be able to share this wonderful work with the committee.
Well, I think that Jordan was unable to make the call, but I wanted to try to be concise. But the work was a team effort and the result of an Impact 100 grant back in 2016. And the major deliverables was applied-based learning focused on math with the middle school youth, as well as to have the construction science program at Woodward be recognized by the state of Ohio as a recognized pre-apprenticeship program. And the third deliverable really was sort of the interest of the students and the faculty. They wanted to build a single-family home in Bond Hill as a way to promote the work of Cincinnati Public Schools and really impact the community. And that deliverable we really worked on to try to see if we could engage the commercial construction industry to participate. And it was a lofty goal, considering that we had about $25,000 to resource it. And at the final year of the grant, as it was ending back in 2019, I approached Habitat for Humanity and met with Ms. Shauna Murphy and Mike, and we met with the president of Habitat Ed Lee and set out an agreement where they would actually take ownership of the property. We transferred the property and ceded the initiative $20,000. And in turn, Habitat agreed to have the students at Woodward be involved in the build as part of their volunteers. And also they committed to building 3 units, one two-family and one single-family, and take ownership for recruiting families to purchase the homes. And of course, in 2020, because of COVID, the timing was impacted, but in 2021, the single-family home was sold and the duplex was sold, and the families involved, all inner city families, purchased the homes for each under $150,000, 3 bedrooms, 2 baths, brand new, 0% interest rate, and best of all, I guess, or in addition, I should say, the students at Woodward have been involved in the bill. So what a great outcome, and what great teamwork. Impact 100, Cincinnati Public Schools, Woodward Career Technical Schools, Allied Construction Industries, and here now we have Habitat building these great homes. It's a corner lot on Ryland, next to the Pony Keg there. It just improved the whole appearance of the neighborhood, and the families were thrilled, and Channel 9 featured the story, and just great to have this kind of outcome working together.
Hey, Anthony, thanks a lot for sharing that. We were excited when you sent the email a couple of weeks ago letting us know about this. And I think just the fact that it hits on so many different positive aspects, it makes it just a remarkable story. The student participation, the neighborhood improvement, the Habitat for Humanity connection, the way you were able to bring all of it together, I think is just an amazing project. So thank you very much for sharing that.
I appreciate that. The reference that Jordan Vogel made at the end when I called Habitat, because I was, really trying to get this accomplished, is I threw a Hail Mary pass, and Habitat had some dealings at Woodward, and they really stepped up, and just great to see these families. They are so excited in this market to buy a house for under $150,000, but a 0% interest rate. Just tremendous.
Absolutely. I definitely echo Alan's sentiments. We're very appreciative of the continued partnership with Allied Construction in so many different capacities across our district. So thank you so much for sharing. And it's an excellent example of layered partnership, as well as like a tangible avenue for our students to impact other people's lives. So thank you, thank you, thank you. Our next update actually is revisiting the Lieutenant Governor's visit to CPS. So earlier in May, actually, the Lieutenant Governor really selected Cincinnati Public Schools as one of his stops on his journey throughout the state for In-Demand Jobs Week. He particularly picked Cincinnati Public Schools for multiple reasons. One, due to the Business Advisory Council's recognition from the state level, but also because of the multiple partnerships that we have throughout our city, and particularly in IT. We were selected as an IT pilot site for a new initiative with the Governor's Office of Workforce Transformation. So he made a stop to Hughes STEM High School, and we had an opportunity to host him, his staff, some of our other leaders throughout the community and the state. And it was a wonderful representation of an opportunity for us to showcase all of the work that we do throughout the district, as well as the wealth of partnerships that you all as a committee or as a council have been very instrumental in keeping alive, even through COVID and all of the pandemic barriers that we have faced. I'm going to open the floor also to the members of the Business Advisory Council who were at this particular visit and represented the district as well as the Business Advisory Council to give some insights into that day.
So I don't see Jesse on the call. Jesse attended and had some good comments for the Lieutenant Governor, but I do see Mona who was there. Mona, do you want to add anything to that?
Sure. I thought we all did a great job of presenting not only what we're doing and some of the accomplishments we've had, but what we need from him and from the governor in the state. I just thought that we did a really good job because there were a lot of people sitting at the table, but Jesse, I think, was the first one to get in there and, just kind of shoulder in and make sure that we were heard, for the very first thing. So it was really exciting. The governor really took us seriously. It wasn't just, something that he just did. He took us seriously and asked questions behind what we were saying and how do we make that happen? Those kind of questions, which were really good and showed that he had an interest in what we were saying and wants to make some changes or to help us to further our work. So I thought it was really an excellent experience.
Yeah, the lieutenant governor talked to everybody first and made some remarks about a lot of the career development opportunities that he's involved with. And he talked to the students who were there, who were actually featured on a nice video that was on the screen. And it was funny seeing, them up on the video and then sitting there in person and kind of getting a kick out of that. But he had a nice chat with them. And then he came and did a roundtable with everybody else. And Brittany and Mona and Jesse and I were on the round table, as was Shauna Murphy, who also made some good comments to the lieutenant governor about some of the barriers that she sees with the students in career development. And he took notes, he listened, he asked good questions. So as Mona said, it really was a good interactive session. It wasn't just paying lip service to what we had to say, but he genuinely seemed interested. I know one of his staffers was there making notes for follow-up. So it was a really good session, and I know he was sorry to have to cut it short to get to his next appointment, but it gave us all a voice. He was very complimentary in recognizing the awards that the BAC won recently. He, of course, presided over that ceremony along with the Ohio Department of Education. So he recognizes the work that we did, and a lot of the comments that we made, in addition to being quite substantive on practical solutions, really dealt with helping to promote the development of BACs across the state. And we made the point that we got a little bit of a head start because of the structure that we had in place already, but that this framework is one that can work throughout the state. And it's too bad we didn't have, Anthony, you were there too. I'm sorry about that. So you can chime in. It's too bad we didn't have Anthony's example quite yet because, this shows what great partnerships we can help coordinate and put together through the work that we do. So, Anthony, if you want to add anything to that, that'd be great. But it really was a wonderful morning.
No, I think you've really summed it up, and Monica, and it was just great to see the Business Council recognized and, just the esprit de corps of everybody together, working together, and another industry getting a jump start here, information technology.
Yeah, appreciate that. And, frankly, we were joking, for me, it was the first event I'd been to in person in over a year. And there certainly was an energy in the room and something energizing about being together and being able to collaborate. So certainly look forward to being able to do that with all of you soon. Brittany?
Wonderful. Thank you all for sharing. From the student perspective, transparently, they were didn't understand the weight of the experience at first, but talking with them after the experience, they were really excited to be in the room. Many of our scholars who have been in our career tech and career-based learning programs, who are seniors, were able to share their experience with the lieutenant governor as well as their peers. So the students were able to understand what was happening and also ask questions and get a head start on pre-planning the experiences that they wanted to participate in. So it was also beneficial from the student perspective and highlighting one of our high schools Q's STEM as well in the process and the wonderful work that they've done over the years as well in this space. So we appreciate everyone's effort in As a result of this work as well, we were able to get the IT pilot up and running. So we have students working. It was definitely a short time frame. So kudos to the career tech team as well as the career-based learning team for buckling down, as well as some of our teachers who are working with us as coordinators to be able to get this up and running. I would like to highlight some of the partnerships within this pilot because they are riding the wave of a true pilot with us, but they've been excellent, have pulled out all stops for our kids, and we are truly appreciative. We partnered with two lead organizations, the Cincinnati, USA Regional Chamber, as well as Inner Alliance, to serve in a capacity and as a thought partner through the work. So they've been fantastic in helping us bring in some of our tried and true strategies and bring them into this pilot so that we can also share them with other school districts and the state as they build out opportunities for work-based learning and opportunities for internships across the state. Our employer partners who have signed on include JW Affinity, which is actually one of our CPS contractors who help with device deployment across the district. So students in this particular pilot opportunity will get an opportunity to serve our teachers as well as their peers in preparation for this upcoming school year. So they'll be around the district offices and our schools helping to set up new equipment, helping to distribute and switch out old equipment, learn how to do inventory, IT help support. They'll be sitting in our help desk sometimes. So they'll have a really cool seat as what it takes to run our district from the IT lens. So we're really excited for JW to be a part of it. Belkin and actually has been a huge partner of ours for the last 3 years in support of the cybersecurity program at Taft High School. They are now expanding a little bit in this tech opportunity to serve more students from different schools. So they will be participating and having students learn more about IT support as well as cybersecurity. We also have GE Aviation. They are working with us to give students an opportunity to learn about cloud-based work as well as cybersecurity. And then we have Preschool Promise, who we know and we work with very closely. So students in this opportunity will be doing some data analysis and database creation to help support the work of Preschool Promise. And last but not least, Nihemani, who works as a social media manager for many different nonprofits and local companies in our area. Students will be learning the power of social media and how to use it in business, to promote companies, to share information, and to really help bolster and reinforce a company's bottom line through social media. So kudos to everyone involved in this pilot, and special thank you to all of our partners for their tireless work. My last CBO.
Oh, sorry, Brittany, didn't mean to interrupt. We might add that there was a representative from Belcan at the session with the Lieutenant Governor, and we got to meet him, and he was very excited about the work they're doing. So just to add to that, there really is a good, enthusiastic participation there.
Absolutely. Mr. King has been very instrumental in keeping the work alive, as well as Terry Williams from Belkin. So we really appreciated their attendance, and hopefully they are actually one of the companies who will be joining us on the BAC in this upcoming school year. Thank you, Alan. We've already seen our list of experiences for next year, but the one thing I wanted to highlight is the work that we've done since our last meeting. So in our last meeting, you guys did a wonderful job at sharing the opportunities as well as the limitations of your individual industries as it relates to supporting in-person or virtual engagement for career exploration and readiness. So from that conversation, we synthesized a lot of it, and we're able to really promote a strategy for career-based learning so that we can continue the work and also keep everyone safe. So we're envisioning moving our schedule around and kind of flip-flopping our normal pattern to move some of those larger scale experiences to the spring. So that's your career expo, large scale job shadowing, some of our partner organizations such as Junior Achievement and their JA Inspire event that our students participate in. Some of those experiences will be pushed back to the spring, whether they're virtual or in person, to provide some changes in those safety protocols and be able to support the work moving forward. The smaller scale experiences such as mock interviews, opportunities for internships and things in that nature, virtual primarily, will be moved to the fall so that we can prioritize them. We also have a ask on the table for small scale job shadows. If we can keep students spread out and companies are willing to host, we're also trying to move those to the fall as well. Currently, we are not accepting visitors into our buildings, but we have really thought about how to best utilize our outdoor spaces. So in the last meeting, Ann Allen was able to share some of the strategies of having a drive-through or pop-up opportunities on our fields, on our parking lots and things in that nature. Got an opportunity to talk with one of our athletics managers about the tents that they use at different sporting events to possibly have those opportunities to bring our experiences outside. And then once we are able to bring individuals into our building, how do we best utilize our cafetoriums, auditoriums, and technology to continue this work? So all of these things are on the table. We will still prioritize them as a field trip, meaning they will be safeguarded within the course of the day. So to respect the students' opportunity to learn as well as our partners who are taking time out of their schedule, we want to make sure that we provide that space. So the atmosphere will still be as it's a field trip to ensure that students and partners are where they need to be and true engagement can take place. Last but not least, we're really focused on improving this work this year. So to engage both students and partners, we want to improve our data capturing. So we will be doing exit tickets for these experiences, which basically are surveys that we can use to gauge how students and professionals feel about this style of engagement, and then offer opportunities to hear from both so that we can improve the experience. Any questions on these strategies or new strategies that you would like to uplift?
Brittany, what do you anticipate for specific asks coming to members of the council to help with the events when we're ready to have them?
So our goal is to have the date solidified by the end of this month. We are working with our career tech team to kind of have more of a comprehensive opportunity list so that we know that we share partners across the two departments in different capacities. So we want to have a menu of options. So that should be completed by the end of this month so that we can share it out to the committee and then do further networking to staff those particular experiences. So you should be getting the information in July.
That was a great question. I think that's where I was going to be as well, Brittany, just kind of where will we be if we can get that menu of opportunities and hopefully I'm on that menu and we can move forward for that, just kind of see where we are.
We would definitely love to have everyone be a part of it, even if it's still in the virtual space. I know we still plan on doing Beyond the Tassel, which I know many of you have participated in as well. So we want to include that as an experience, which is the virtual Facebook Live experience that we were able to do this year. So whichever fits your particular parameters for your industry and or organization, we want to be able to cater to. And as our safety protocols shift, we want to be able to be flexible with that as well.
So this is Monica Posey. So who would you typically send that information to at Cincinnati State? Who do you communicate with most?
So It has varied depending on what the experience is, but
Okay.
we do have a list. I can share those contacts with you if that would be helpful, or I can send them directly to you.
Yeah, that would be good. Just so in case there's some follow-up or there's more need in terms of making the connections. Yeah, we can be a little complex, so so I certainly don't want to interrupt any good flow that you currently have, but if there's some way that I or Angelica can assist, we certainly want to do that.
Sounds good. Thank you for that. I will say everyone on the team has been very responsive, so we do appreciate that level of support. Any additional thoughts on the experiences and/or the strategy?
Brittany, this has been communicated correct to all of the CPS schools, right? Because I have had a couple requests. I'm going to start having a few conversations with some of the schools that we go into, and for some reason, I believe that some of them think that there's going to be a safe way to come into the schools for partners to come in
It
and come into their schools.
It has not been
Okay.
communicated just yet. This information will be included in the principal's kind of toolkit or principal binder, as we call it, in conjunction with their normal professional development. So we start with the head, with the principal, the instructional leader, and then we branch out to the counselors, to our resource coordinators, further down to be able to disseminate and actually start working individually with the schools. So they may still be planning on their own individually, which is totally fine. We do not block that progress, but there will be an official correspondence in accordance to that schedule.
Hey, Brittany, it's Brian, and I apologize if you commented on this. I guess one point, I guess, just continuous right learning or be it benchmarking. Is there any forum by which, like you said, the unique dynamics and or the environment by which to proceed in these efforts, to be able to check like what are their schools doing, right? Be it, if anything in the local area or be it at the state level, and you all might be ahead of the curve, right, relative to what was being recognized before, but I just didn't know if there's even a forum, right, to say how are people navigating some of these challenges in the virtual environment.
Sure, that's a really good question. So Michael Turner, who's our career tech manager, and myself both participate in two separate statewide conversation groups in a way. We meet on a monthly basis, and that is one thing that we do discuss. I also have made multiple touch points with the Career Connections office at ODE, and they've been asking us how we're planning on doing it. So I think we're kind of a leader in that effort. Many have kind of, I wouldn't say stalled, but paused some of their efforts. I do have some contacts at our other districts, our neighboring districts, who do similar work, and we talk back and forth, as well as those regional partners. So Junior Achievement, for instance, I had a really good conversation with them, wanting to make sure that whatever they're designing matches what the school districts that they work with in a good way, in a feasible way, so that the efforts are not duplicated. So that's one big piece that we're focusing on, is eliminating the duplication, especially in those regional efforts. And I think we're taking the lead in it, transparently, to make a statement about this work is important, and we have to figure out new strategies to engage our students beyond technology. So I don't know if that truly answered your question, but we're working in multiple capacities to get that done.
Definitely. Yep. Thank you.
Any other questions? Well, you'll definitely be hearing from me as we combine these strategies and these dates and send them out to you for feedback and for election to participate. We are going to move on now to our Business Advisory Council update, and I'm going to turn it over to Alan to talk about our working group.
So actually, before we do that, I see that Ms. Jones has been added as a presenter. Probably give her the opportunity to say anything she wanted to about the Lieutenant Governor's visit or about the superintendent change.
Yes. Can you hear me?
Yes, we can.
Okay, great. Thank you. Thank you so much. And I apologize, but when I entered the meeting, I didn't have access to either the camera or the mute button. So thanks to the moderator for helping me get in. And I thank you, Brittany, for allowing me to just say a couple of things. Just two things. I wanted to mention regarding these transition, the leadership transition. The board is just in the beginning stages of planning the process for the search for the superintendent's position, and we fully intend to be as transparent as we can by communicating with the community on a regular basis where we are at every point in the planning process, and also to fully engage the community in helping us move that process along and participating. So wanted to let you know that, again, we're just in the beginning stages of that, and we will keep you informed. Secondly, I just wanted to, because we get asked this a lot, as we all know, we're still kind of in this pandemic, but although things have gone very smoothly, we're still working on the issue about people coming in and out of the buildings. It is an ongoing topic, and we hope to be able to come to some resolution about where we stand with that. I can't even project a timeline, but there are some things going on right now, so hopefully we can get that resolved. But I think one of the good things that I wanted to share is, during the pandemic, we lost a lot of students. They left the district for different reasons, some going to alternate school settings because they were 5 days. But I wanted you all to know that our enrollment is steadily increasing for the upcoming school year. So we're getting very close with that steady enrollment. We're getting close to what our original numbers were, around that 36,000 mark. So things are looking good for us in that. So I appreciate the opportunity to share with you.
Thank you very much. We appreciate the update, and it's very good to have a representative from the school board here so we can keep that link going. So very much appreciate it.
All right. Thank you so much.
So let's just talk a little bit about the working group that we mentioned last time. If you recall, we discussed putting together a working group because we have a lot of interest from people in the community who would like to be part of the BAC, but our membership is somewhat limited by necessity. We can't have a BAC that's too large to function. We need as much representation as we can get from the recognized career clusters. We don't need a lot of duplication on our council, but that tends to leave out some folks who have genuine interest. And we've had a couple people reach out and want to be part of it. So the idea was that, much like other boards around the community, we could have essentially a working committee of people who have an interest in the work that we do, perhaps getting ready one day to join the BAC, perhaps not. Perhaps they just want to help focus on specific projects and have that be their role, which is fine. But it's a way to get more people involved in our work without adding to the membership of the BAC or making it too cumbersome to carry out our mission. So I think everybody agreed last time that, at least in theory, that was a good idea. What I'm thinking is this, and looking for any input you have, I'm thinking of a working committee of about 10 to 15 people. I think that'll be plus or minus, depending on whatever projects we have going at the time and how much interest we have. But would like to keep it to a group that's large enough to carry out the work of the special projects we have, but small enough that it's a cohesive unit. I think we're going to have it at least as a baseline be a public body, and we can talk more with district council about this. There are exceptions under the Open Meetings Act for certain working groups where they don't necessarily have to meet as a public body. But I think in general, if they're going to have an all hands on deck meeting, that it should be done in public, so the public can see what's happening. To the extent there are special working groups to roll up their sleeves and get some of the work done, that's a little bit of a different story, and that doesn't all have to be done with the public watching. But that's just more of the nuts and bolts work of putting together some of the projects. I don't think we should limit membership to specific categories of people, either based on industry or based on experience level. I think it's particularly hard to do, especially for experience level, when it is a public body, or at least a committee of a public body. I don't think we want to be too exclusive about it. Some boards have what they call a junior board, and they're looking for young professionals, for example, to get some experience before they step up to the main board. And while that might be a byproduct of what we do, I don't think we want to limit it to young professionals. I think we want to keep it open to whoever is willing to participate and has the ability to do so. I do think we'll have to amend our bylaws to add a provision to provide some rules for this along the lines of what we're discussing. I'd like to put our membership guidelines in the bylaws, much like we have for the BAC, perhaps provide for term of service. I don't know that it's necessary to have a short term of service, but I think we want to have at least some turnover and some ability for new voices and people who want to get involved to have a seat at the table. So I propose putting some of these rules in the bylaws, presenting it to you at our next meeting, but generally having a recruitment effort that I know Brittany's already started, and Brittany and I have a call set up for, I think, next week with someone who's interested. But I would ask all of you to tap your contacts and see if there's anybody who's interested in helping with the work we do in terms of our traditional projects like the job shadow mock interviews, Career Expo, and be able to recruit that way. And I think if we can do that, then we'll put together a group that can help us get our work done so we can focus on the strategic role that's outlined by the statute for us. So I would propose to bring something to the BAC in the bylaws and have the members start to get out the word that we're starting to think about recruiting members for this, and I don't know that we're going to have it up and running, probably not for the beginning of the year, but I think as close to it after that as we can to provide some extra muscle to get done what we need to would be a good idea. Any thoughts or reactions to that? I will take silent, complete consent. Go ahead, Brian.
No, I was going to say, yeah, definitely. Again, tough to find the mute button there. I mean, I think it's, great opportunity to expand, to diversify, right, relative to just, industry, companies, individuals, right, to have more involved. And so, yeah, all for it. And I guess, guidance wise, as we go to network, if there's, make sure we're managing the message appropriately, right? If you want us, anything you can provide to us or a one pager or things of that sort are definitely helpful as we manage our respective networks.
Yeah, that's a great idea, and we'll do that. So I will, I'll put together a draft amendment to the bylaws. We'll probably circulate that via email as soon as it's ready so you can see it. And Brittany and I will work on kind of the elevator pitch that you can give to people. And then I would say that if you have anybody who's interested, send them Brittany's way, and we can set up a conversation with them. Any other thoughts or comments? All right. Well, we will get that moving, and appreciate your input from last time. And and listening this time. Brittany, is there anything else we need to discuss today?
That's it for our agenda besides any new business that anyone would like to discuss at the next meeting.
Anything from the group?
So, Alan, Brittany, I was trying to find it, and I'm probably not gonna be able to look back in my history of emails, but there was, gosh, I mean, last pre-COVID almost maybe, I was having some email exchanges with a contact, and it was at one of the feeder schools, because it was more at almost the elementary level, where they wanted to consider a pilot of a mentoring program. And ultimately, and like I said, I'm trying to search as I'm talking here. Ultimately it was on hold because of, COVID, that we didn't proceed in this effort. It was with Rhonda Summerlin and Evanston Academy. And so I don't know if this was outside scope of this immediate group because of the nature of the schools, but again, this was something that we had considered. I believe at the time she was looking to be at Cintas and other local companies to commit someone that's almost for like a year type time frame, going down to obviously a younger grade level, but just starting to expose them to some of that that mentoring type experience. So she was kind of on my list to revisit now that we're in the summer time frame and what the what if could be for next school year. So just thought I would mention it here.
That is an excellent point, Brian. Thank you for bringing back that to our remembrance. Evanston Academy specifically has a Vision 2020 focus for college and career readiness. So each of our elementary schools have this primary focus or a particular special program that is unilateral across the curriculum. And so Rhonda does serve as the capacity of coordinator for experiences and partnerships. And so I work with Rhonda on a lot of that effort. And we would love to have more engagement in the younger grades. And increasingly, I'm getting requests from K-8 schools, even elementary schools only, for some type of business engagement at the younger levels. So I think that's maybe something that the committee can start talking about, different strategies. I know different members of the committee have more experience than others with engaging, particularly 5th and 6th graders and even 7th and 8th graders in these types of experiences, whether it's mentoring, a speaker type series, more of a junior achievement, JA in a day experience as well. And maybe we can invite junior achievement to come in and share what their experience has been at the younger levels. But I definitely think the elementary element is one that we can begin to explore.
I'd just like to piggyback off of that. I think I'm glad you brought that back up. That is so important. And I keep continuously thinking about that and making sure that we, and then maybe at the next meeting, we can take some time and brainstorm about those younger grade levels. And I know Evanston has reached out to me too, individually, just wanting to make sure that we're able to do something to that effect with the young people and come out and talk about some career exploration, just starting to spin the wheels on that age group, which is so important to just start to get them to think about it. Sometimes we don't think that it's beneficial or impactful, but it actually is. One of the partners, and Brittany, I do believe they're a partner of CPS as well. Well, they have a lot of CPS schools. Breakthrough Cincinnati is really one of those summer enrichment programs that focus on that career exploration, and they have those younger grade levels that they focus towards. So excited that we're having this conversation and that we're willing to go ahead and even look at those grade levels. I'm excited about being a part of that conversation.
Yeah. So Brittany, I guess, I'll defer to you in terms of guidance or connecting with the right groups. I know we had started to speculate in terms of some of our partners, Cintas wise in the greater Cincinnati area, right? Because it can, it sounded like it had flexibility, right, in terms of scheduling and the frequency of those visits, especially when you look at some of our professional business resource groups and our Rise 2 group, with partners there that had an interest, and I was kind of coordinating with them until everything got put on pause. So definitely interest on the Cintas side and partners at all, levels and locations in the greater Cincinnati area to kind of revisit, right? So I guess let me know.
I think definitely we can tackle it from two ends of the spectrum. One, individually, so schools are reaching out to you. I can help coordinate those experiences and give some insights into how to best prepare for engagement at the younger levels. But I think it's a larger conversation as it relates to the BAC's role with this expanded opportunity to serve the entire district. What is our strategy? And really defining the strategy for younger grades would be a great talking point for the committee to work on next school year. Alan, would you agree?
I do, and I think that's exactly the kind of issue that we're supposed to be tackling at this point. So we'll make sure it gets on the agenda for the beginning of the year. Anything else that anybody has for the group? All right, hearing nothing, we'll take a motion to adjourn.
So move. We all have to find a mute button.
Yeah.
Yes,
Take a second.
Mute.
A second.
All right. We'll stand adjourned and be in touch shortly about what we just discussed. Thanks, everybody.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Have a good one.